If I stop for a second, it's just because I'm letting people in.
Can we just take a nap instead?
No, but I feel ya. I totally feel the same way. It's actually kind of a longer class today. All right. So today we're doing an IN page for point of view. Again, I changed this so that it's easier for you to access. I just have one request. Do not submit a screenshot of this unless I can see your name on it somewhere. So if you're logged into Microsoft 365, your name will show on the screen. Make sure that you include that in the picture. If you're on Google, it should show like your username. So you need to make sure that it shows, but more specifically with PowerPoint, the best way to avoid any issues is to just download one of these when you're, okay, so let me explain. Both of these, if you open up this one, it should open up in your Microsoft, in your Office 365 account. I had somebody use the Apple version, that's fine. Then I'll know that it was yours. If you're opening it up in 365, it will definitely show your name at the top. If you open it up in Google, it should show there too. When you're opening these up, they both save automatically. So if you're working in Office 365, as you're working, it saves it automatically. You don't need to tell it to save. In fact, there is no save button unless you're working directly on your computer. The same goes for Google. Do not share a link with me with Google. Don't do that. You have to actually submit the work. So you could take the screenshot, but it's got to include a picture of your name on there for either one of these. The other way to do it, and most of you guys have figured this out on your own, is that you need to say you want to download a copy of it once you're done working. So for this one, you would say, you go on the left-hand side and you say download, and then you can tell it to download as PowerPoint or just download it to your desktop and then upload that. And the same thing if you're in Office 365, you need to download it to your desktop in order to attach it. If you've been sending it through Office 365, that's fine too if it lets you submit that way. Most of you guys aren't having an issue. I only have issues with people that are sending in screenshots. They need to be clear. They need to have your name on there somewhere. It cannot look like it's just my work. Otherwise, I'm not going to accept it. All right, let's go ahead. I'm not using either one of those links, but you are. Remember, they're the same. I'm going to use it directly off of my computer. Okay, so this one up here is the definition of point of view, and that's because we're going to be looking at the 4 different types of point of view, but we haven't actually gone over what point of view is. It should be a review from something you learned in middle school. I just want to make sure that you have it. So we're going to triple click in here, and then just for my sake, I'm going to switch over to a different font. I don't want you guys to do that. All right, so what should be up here is point of view. It's the standpoint from which the story is told. And I've said it to you guys a bunch of times that Tangerine is written in first person. I promise it's going to be on like your final. It's going to be on your quiz this week. It'll probably be on your quiz next week. Just make sure you know that. And then in your quiz this week, you will have to decipher between these. Remember, there's only one type of first person, but each one of these are all third person, but they're different. There's objective, limited, and omniscient. So last time we had a test or a quiz like this that had 3 versions of one thing, it was types of conflict. And I had said on your quiz, what are the external types of conflict? And then some people would list all of them. So if I were to say on the quiz, what are the third person points of view? I don't want you to write first person as one of the answers because it's not. Just like when we did external and internal, people were listing the person versus self as one of the external types of conflict, and that's wrong, and that's why they did not get credit for that question. So only the bottom three are third person types, okay? So for first person, we're very used to this because we're reading Tangerine right now. And we know that it's first person because Paul, it's literally in Paul's point of view. It's Paul's journal. And Paul says, I, we, us all the time. So first person is told from the viewpoint of one of the characters using I and we. And I'm going to shorten or make that small because I know it won't fit. Told from the viewpoint of one of the characters using I and we. Okay, third person, this first one is objective. And what objective means is the narrator is being objective. And what does that mean? It means they're being impersonal and they're an outside observer. So we're going to type in here, the narrator reports the facts as a neutral and impersonal outside observer.
What do we do for the other side of the glasses?
I'll show you. Before I let you go, I'll show you guys what to do. The narrator reports the facts as a neutral and impersonal outside observer. And I really want you guys to pay attention to this. It is an outside observer. I'm going to underline it. Meaning this person is not part of the story. They're just, the equivalent of it would be like a reporter. They're just reporting the facts of the story. Otherwise known as being objective. Okay, the next is third person limited, and that's how you're going to remember it. It's limited to the one character that they are talking about. And what I mean is, this is a narrator who's also an outside observer, but this narrator focuses on the thoughts and feelings of only one character. So if Tangerine was told from third person limited, then the person would be talking, remember they're an outside observer, but they would still be saying like, Paul feels like this, and Paul looks like this, and Paul doesn't like this, instead of Tangerine being I. But they're, again, limited to only one character. So this one we're going to write, the narrator is an outside observer that focuses on the thoughts and feelings of only one character. So now we've got first person, I and we, objective, like a reporter, and third person limited, they talk like an outside observer, but they know the thoughts and feelings of somebody. So very similar to first person, except this person is outside the story. Now, third person omniscient. Omniscient is kind of like being like God or whatever spiritual being you believe in, meaning they know everything. And what I mean by this is they can tell us the thoughts and feelings of everyone in this story, not just one person. And not just giving a report. They can say so and so, like Paul feels this way, but Eric feels this way, and Paul's dad feels this way, and Betty Bright feels this way. They can do that. It's the only type that can tell us about everybody.
Since there's only a first and third, is there a second person point
No.
of view?
No, it's first person and then third person, objective, limited, or omniscient.
I know, but I meant is there actually a second person?
No.
I thought there was. I remember being told in like third grade there was a second person that like narrates you.
That would be third person limited. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. So the definition for this one is the narrator is an outside observer who can tell us the thoughts and feelings of all the characters. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to be moving these pieces into the correct time and into the correct side of the glasses. So whatever this is, this example needs to match it. So I'm not going to do first person because it's super easy to deduce which one is first person. Instead, I'm going to pick the second one, the three boys one. So the sample says, the three boys walked down the street in a single line. They did not speak to each other. They stared straight ahead. So it's not talking about any feelings. It's not giving us any specific information about one character. And if it's not giving us about any other character, then it's not giving us anything about any other characters either. It's just like a reporter. The reporter is just telling us what happened. So the only one that's like a reporter is going to be third person objective. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab this and you're going to move it over to the other side of the glasses. If you need to adjust it to make it fit, that's fine. This one was okay. But you're going to do the same thing for all four pairs of the glasses. Oops. So once you finish your notes, make sure that you drag these over. It will for sure pop up in PowerPoint. It should pop up in Google Slides too, if you use the Google one. So before I let you guys go, please don't forget that you guys have reading today in Tangerine. I believe it's 9 pages, and then you have questions in Tangerine. Before I let anybody go, does anybody have any other questions about your assignment today or anything else? All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. Don't forget, you can always send me an inbox message. I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.